Recording number 5, L's Holy ENJIYL, the Book of Revelation, translated by Dr. Malachi Z. York. Chapter 1, verse 9. A vision of the Messiah, the exile of John to the island of Patmos because of his faith in Theos and the teachings of the Messiah Jesus. It was on the island of Patmos that the messenger Malachi Zadok made his appearance to John. The King James mistranslation, in quotations, I, John, who was also am your brother and a companion in tribulation and in the kingdom and patience of Jesus Christ, was in the isle that is called Patmos for the word of God and for the testimony of Jesus Christ. Close quotation. A fuller translation of this verse. I, John, son of Zebedee and Salome, am a brother of you all who believe in the Most High Anu, Elyon, Elyon El, in brackets, also meaning Theos, Yahweh, God, close brackets, and a partner in the hard times here on earth, that the faithful will be persecuted for righteous name's sake, and the kingdom of the Most High called the crystal city of Nibiru, and the patience by way of the Messiah Jesus. While I was on the island on the Aegean Sea, which is called Patmos, in the year 96 AD, during the time when I had been imprisoned by the Emperor Domitian of Rome, as a result of my beliefs and my propagations of the teachings of the Messiah Jesus, for the sake of the words of Theos and the testimony of the Messiah Jesus. Chapter 1, verse 10. Mistranslation of the King James 1611 AD version. Quotations. I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, and heard behind me a great voice, as of a trumpet. Close quotation. Full translation. I, the newsbearer John, son of Zebedee and Salome, became a spiritual being in the only day, which are the last days before the end, which will occur in 3 parts. The day of resurrection or standing, when the Messiah Jesus will resurrect, and the book of life will be opened to bear witness to your good and bad deeds. The day of decision, when every person will be called for their deeds. And the final day, when man will be held accountable for how he dealt with the rulership of the creatures and how he used the right knowledge, the right wisdom, and the right overstanding that the Most High bestowed upon him by way of the master teacher Malachi Zadok. And I, John, son of Zebedee and Salome, heard the supreme voice of the Anunnaki Elohim Malachi Zadok behind me like a trumpet. Verse 11. Mistranslation for King James 1611 AD version. In quotations, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. And what thou seest, write in a book, and send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, and unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea. Commentary on this version of King James. In most translations of the book of Revelation, you find the words, in quotations, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, quote, close quotations. In this verse, as can be found in the King James Version, however, these words cannot be found in the original text. The various, in quotation, add-ins, close quotations, and deletions to the Old and New Testaments were done by the Greeks when the original text was translated into Greek language and then into English language. Now, this is Malachi Zadok speaks, saying, that which you, the newsbearer John, son of Zebedee and Salome, see and write in a scroll, the 22 books of Revelation, and send it to the 7 congregations which are in Asia, is for all the congregations, Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamos, Thyatira, Sardis, and Philadelphia, and Laodicea. Heading at verse 12. John describes the Messiah Jesus and the messenger, Malachi Zadok. Nubians gowned in the traditional white garment. The power which the Messiah Jesus possessed as the Anointed One is made clear. It's very important to understand that heading. Mistranslation for King James 1611 AD, in quotations, and I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks, close quotations. Fuller translation. So I, the newsbearer, John, son of Zebedee and Salome, turned around to see whose voice was sermonizing for me. And when I turned, I saw 7 candlesticks of gold called the menorah, a prominent feature of the Ark of the Tabernacle. The candles themselves symbolized and represents the 7 congregations of which the newsbearer John was told to warn. Verse 13. Mistranslation. King James 1611 AD, in quotations, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle, close quotations. And here we have a picture of Malachi Zadok holding the 7-candled menorah. Now a fuller translation of verse 13. And in the middle of the 7 gold candlesticks was one who resembled the Messiah Jesus. You hear that, people? One who resembled the Messiah Jesus, the adopted son of Mary, daughter of Joachim and Hannah, a male living being, not the Messiah Jesus, but the Anunnaki, Elohim, Malachi Zadok, who was clothed in a long outer garment down to his feet, and he had a sash-like belt of gold. Chapter 1, verse 14. Mistranslation for King James 1611. Quotations. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Close quotation. A fuller description, translation by Dr. Malachi Zadok. And the hair of the Messiah Jesus' head was white, just like wool, symbolizing his kingly crown, and it was like the color of snow. And he had gray hair, proving that he lived to be a very old man, though Christians would like for the world to believe that he died on the cross at the age of 33, and his eyes were as inflamed like fire, meaning the whites of his eyes were reddish. And that's a Nubian trait. End of this recording session. See you on the other side.